The importance of education in the 21st century. Hello, everyone. My name is Saaif, and today I'm going to be talking about the importance of education. Okay, so education is a way to accumulate factual knowledge, the facts, the quantitative reasoning, and other cognitive elements when you are gaining an education. Actually, this philosopher Aristotle said that education is the way for us to gain permanent knowledge, and in order to use it wisely as a form of happiness, and then we develop ourselves to education, and then we develop ourselves to in a profession where we are able to spread the knowledge. So today, in our 21st century spectrum, we have a lot of problems of education. Okay, so people says that education is the way to get better jobs. That's not the only one way. There are many ways that education can benefit you. Benefits you intellectually, benefits you in a skill way, benefits you to use critical thinking, figure out the truth for yourself. Because the truth is set out to find the truth. Because everything is controversial nowadays. And we cannot just merely believe on a philosophy of something that is just based on opinions. You got to use critical thinking. That's very important. Okay, so someone in the 21st century today, we have access to the internet. But is the internet the way to learn something? Well, it assists you. It does something kind of brain training where technology devices aid you with your cognitive process, but it does not fully make you learn the concept because it's very easy to cheat the system using the internet. But education, I gotta tell you, is you start from your early childhood learning the basics of alphabets up to the point where you end up doing research are very complex problems depending on the field you go to for higher education. Right now, education is very important because there is no way you can have an adequate job without education. And a system where you can able to support your living standards. Okay, so as an example, people with a high school diploma in New York State can live within the minimum wage, but someone can progress living above the minimum wage if they earn a bachelor's degree. So, average income for bachelor's degree is $30,000 a year versus a high school diploma where they can make barely up to 10,000 up to $12,000 a year. So there's a significant improvement, and you can benefit that. But everyone is demanding for progress of education, progress of jobs. But our problems of our education system today is they teach you according to the test, from kindergarten up to 12th grade. It's only on tests, but test doesn't teach you anything. Test is just giving you tests and more tests, and gives you pressure, gives you stress, but does not really teach you practical knowledge, but real life skills. Doesn't teach you the actual way of possessing actual critical thinking skills. You're just merely memorizing the answers of the test. That's how what you're based taught on. As an example, in New York State, the region's exams, state test from third grade to eighth grade and Regents exams throughout high school are based on exams, but they don't teach you the actual ideology of education, the actual concepts of education. This is a real problem. So you got to understand that policymakers should stop focusing on making money from tests and hire educators that can lend them real knowledge. And many students in higher education, some students in higher education believes in grade inflation, thinking is that they should get their grades inflated so they can have a good job. Let me tell you the truth. If your grades are inflated, you won't have the skills for the job because you just focus on the grades and it's very passive and you don't possess real skills that you makes you career ready. That is the problem. So we need to teach our children in the 21st century to possess critical thinking, not merely on tests, but based on from books and based on practical knowledge. Apply real life examples that can teach them and get them involved with activities, educational activities that is relevant with their academic courses and community involvement or other recreational activities that can be related to academics or extracurricular that can teach them practical knowledge or something like vocational, uh, like giving them vocational training. So today I have Ryan Cooper who can base his opinion on the importance of education. So thanks for joining, Ryan Cooper.
Hey, nice to have you here again.
So I want to ask you this: is why education should be considered significant for the mass population of kindergarten to 12th grade and people in college. So why this is important?
Well, education is actually more of an importance of life, as for education is basically for everything. Education is something you start learning from kindergarten all the way up to 12th grade, even more. Doesn't matter what age you are, there is still a large amount of education you can learn from almost anything to business, digital art, maybe even construction, or anything in general. Everything in life is education. You learn things day in, day out. But at the same time, education can help you out through life as on how this country or say this whole situation is going on with. In order to just get a plain job, you're gonna need now is a high school diploma, and finishing up your education, it's a really big deal. So if you want something in life, you're gonna have to finish up your whole 12 years of education in order just to get just a normal job. And if you just want to like get a better career or just start getting a better life, it's better to finish your education, get experienced in order for people to hire you and to actually get and use your ideas as an advantage.
You see, and now Ryan Cooper actually makes a very good point because based on vocational jobs, high school diploma fits that requirement. Basic part-time jobs, like doing something better, requires a college degree. Okay, and if you want a job that fits a profession as a teacher, as a doctor, as a lawyer, as an accountant, um, as a as a as a social worker, psychologist, etc. What is important is it is education. Okay, so As an example, for a lawyer, you need an undergrad degree and get your JD degree in order to practice law. And this needs critical thinking, practical experience in order to possess realistic knowledge about the law. Now, and realistic knowledge and refined cognitive knowledge about the law. But like if you're working in McDonald's, you need to have some vocational experience dealing with customers, understanding the basics of the currency, understanding the basics um of the like the operation of the business and its the divisions of employees. So that's you need to know in a part-time job, like as an example, working in McDonald's, working knowing the currency system, obeying the employees, understanding business ethics, understanding the basics of the taxation system when you're charging taxes, sales tax on the meals that you sell. That is a basic. By law, you need to know about the penal laws. You need to know about the constitutional law, evidence law, business law, entertainment law, family law, to practice law in general. And the adversary system, you need to know about the the basics of the jury system. You need to know the details of the the details about defendants and the prosecutors, like what they do in the court system. Okay, and you need to know about, as an example, classifications of felony, misdemeanors, civil infractions, and then regarding on commission omission crimes. So something like that you have to know when you're pursuing a career in law. That is detailed knowledge. Some people wants to go for the extra step in order to get good amount of income. Very decent amount of income is the bachelor's degree where you apply independent research. But what I'm making a point is that if you want to pursue a profession that you're passionate of and you want to advocate for people, education is the way to make you reach that career goal. Okay? So now our 21st century, we have colleges across the United States that charges huge debts and huge tuition fees because the colleges and institutions, they want to make money, but they don't care the well-being of the students. But policy makers should focus on the priority of the students because students need that education so they can avoid facing debts in their lives and pursue a 4-year college degree and graduate on time where they're career ready and when they apply for their jobs after graduating from higher education. That's what we need. And we need policymakers to be more informed and more and possess a lot of knowledge in their field as a subcommittee in the congressional in the Congress and possess a lot of knowledge in Congress. That's what we need. Who possess a lot of knowledge in Congress and also the U.S. Department of Education, and that needs to be done because the reason is we have a lot of expenses spent on war, but they need to reduce that expenses and focus on education to make this progress So we have a more educated system, educate people where they can have the ability to work in the labor market and balance the economic system. So we don't have an inflation economy where we have more experienced labor force in the job market. So that's why education makes that progress. So I have like one more thing with Ryan Cooper. Um, so like to be honest with you, should why policy makers need to pay more attention to the why policymakers need to pay more attention to students and why they should prioritize their students' education for the well-being of the future of our country. So why is that?
Well, politicians need to start paying more attention to the students because fundamentally, a lot of students have a lot of money issues. So politicians, or say like more like the government, should be actually helping out students' loans and actually helping out students pay off their loans on time in order for the students not have to worry about them later on in the future. A lot of students have a lot of problems with the money, and it is very hard to start paying off every single loan. And as for someone that I know, they are having a hard time trying to pay off their loans and at the same time paying their house bills, and they are still paying it off to this day. So I would say that it would have been best if the country, or say the government in general, can actually help out students with their education, giving them what they need to learn, and not focus on exams because that's going to throw you off later on in the future. Trust me, I know. As well as paying off loans without you have to paying off a majority amount because loans are supposed to be students to pay off the colleges that actually decided to go. But if the college is free nowadays, or like if you pay off a good amount, it's best for them to finish off the payment and you pay the little amount so you can start saving up money for your life. Because life is made with difficult choices and difficult things to even get. So I would say government should be helping out students with money issues.
Of course, and I absolutely agree when Ryan Cooper says that life can be full of difficult choices. Of course, because if you don't attain that education due to the high expenses of education, then you cannot pursue the career that you're passionate of. So they need to balance out and hire educators that have passion of lending knowledge to the students, make them better thinkers. Okay, and we need to balance out the policies of the policies of federal policies, state policies, local policies on how they're going to implement these standards. Of course, rigorous standards is the way of making them critical thinkers and better prepared to use their intellectual abilities on solving complex problems or expressing themselves in an intellectual manner when responding to very complex prompts that are given to them in their professions. Rigorous is the way to make things better, but we need to assist them to meet that goal. So we need in our higher education system that that educators and colleges need to really stop having academic freedom, the full academic freedom. They need to fulfill the students' interests so they can meet the goal. Don't be, and so they are not going to be focused on throwing unnecessary things and not assisting them and not meeting their interests and needs to fulfill their academic goals. The reason why students are failing because sometimes we have the wrong instructors that teach in the education system. So we need to hire the right instructors that can teach them the practical and the practical way of life and the complex way of life of meeting career goals. That is important, and we need that. So this can be resolved if we elect for policymakers like Congress, members of the U.S. Department of Education, the Board of Education in our states and cities and counties, where they can rectify our education system and make them better prepared for our future economy, which is pivotal for our nation's success. So, thanks for watching.